is in this bar we had on this graph. But it's a difficult thing. I think on the internet you still can sell little things, small things, and services and things that have to be delivered actually in a physical way. This is something I might think about, for example, Novomatic selling services over the internet and not only boxed products as a high-tech company in Austria, but different is a friend of mine is just producing soaps, handmade soaps. And he can promote it on the internet, but he has to pack them and to ship them. And there is another thing, it's not only sending out information by request, it's just to work together in the relation with the customer, because probably he doesn't like the scent of the soap, or it doesn't work that way, or he's allergic. Then you have to do it in both ways, in a maybe not so entertaining way. It's support, this is the next thing, where people come into it. So the physical relation between the customer, the client and the company is not only in media, it's also in the way how to speak with them, how to deal with them.
Thank you. Thank you for your remarks. Stephan Heiglauer, you're a specialist in parcel logistics. You've worked in different countries, for example in Turkey. Your business has changed a lot in the past years. What are the trends in the field of logistics?
Yeah, maybe one remark to Matt. I'm German speaking as well, like you. I'm using an old beta version, I think, of Google Translator. I think maybe I would like to start with the fact. The fact is that online or parcel volumes coming from online business are increasing significantly. There is a study in Austria from quite sufficient partners saying that we currently have a little bit more than 50% online shoppers in Austria, and this figure will increase up to 65% in 2015. So the trend, or one trend, is a tremendous increase in B2C volume coming from this online business. And in the near future, we might get used, as we've seen in this advertisement, we might get used to order food business as well online, so not just electronics, books, CDs and so on. And we already started some pilot projects here in Austria with food business. Maybe a second trend, or a keyword for a second trend, is globalization. So there are clearly no borders for e-commerce business. You can easily buy in other countries with just 2 or 3 mouse clicks, and I think this is a driver for e-commerce as well, to be present in cross-border business, and we as Austrian Post, as you mentioned, I worked in Turkey. We started years ago to establish a European-wide network, because we are convinced it's no longer sufficient just to be present in Austria. You need to have a broader coverage. And maybe a third trend is convenience. Getting back to what Matt said, he talked about where we want, when we want, what we want sort of society, about having choices and about the importance of having choices. And this is exactly what we're going to have as well here in Austria. So in the near future, you will have the possibility to interact with our production system. So you could easily willingly reroute the parcel to, I don't know, to one of our branch offices, to one of our new self-service areas, maybe to shift to another time window. I think this is convenient, and this is what customers clearly want. So, in a nutshell, it's really about growth coming from this online. It's about cross-border business, and the key is convenience.
Tell us about the food business online. I imagine it's very complicated. You have all the air condition problems and things like that.
It is, yeah. The biggest challenge, I think, is the packaging. If you imagine you're carrying bottles, beverages, bananas, tomatoes, all those kind of things, and it's not enough just to put a label on it saying handle with care. It usually doesn't work. So this is one of the challenges. We're working on that, and we're tackling this. But I think this is a trend. And a lot of retailers are starting to think about selling food online.
And there are new firms, or is it
established retailers?
establishment here? And another question: is there a future for the old-fashioned postman?
I'm sure there is, but not that I know.
Yeah. Okay, Johann Kausl, you worked. You worked in the trade commissions in Frankfurt, in Moscow, in Tokyo, and Los Angeles, and now you are established in Berlin. The World Wide Web made the world smaller and closer, but there are still barriers. You need permits and licenses and approvals and so on. Is the boundless freedom of the internet an illusion?
It's not an illusion, it's the danger of running into these traps. So just to make my point, what I say is that internet gave us great opportunities, and I would say not only internet, it was the change of technology within the last 40 years, which brought us great opportunities, but we have to be careful on how to use them, especially as far as we go in cross-border businesses, you pointed out. I agree with Brittin that the chances are great, and it's not expensive anymore to go even across the borders by internet. This is exactly the danger I see, that too many non-educated who didn't rise up before they showed up, too many of those go into this business, and we see problems outside of Austria when they run into these traps that are ready for them. Give a simple example on the guy with the razor blades you brought. He got, you said, 48,000 orders within 2 days. So let's suggest there was at least 100 orders out of any other European Union country. So the guy was happy, packed his orders to the other countries, sent them off, and he was in violation at each and any country where he sent his package, because there's a system of recycling packages in the European Union where you need to buy a license before you send the first package into that country. And you have to go into a license agreement with a recycler for that. He was even happy that he had not an electric razor, because the electric shaver would need another license for electrical machines or equipment for recycling. That's just two of the examples where you run in when you go across the border. The same goes with the consumer rights. You have in each and every country, even in the friendly countries of the European Union, you have in each and every country its own consumer rights. And when you go across the border, you have to take care of this. You can't just go across and do it. And that's the problem we're trying to educate Austrian companies on it. And so we moved the order, what you said, show up, wise up, and speed up. We moved it into wise up, and then show up, and speed up. Because if you're not wise enough, you better leave your business in your home country. And that's a change what I wanted to say. If you compare in the old times, exporters were first successful in their home country, and then they slowly crossed the border into neighboring countries. Now we have the problem that somebody can even start business by going to other countries, not even doing business at home.
So I think you make some great points there, and those points illustrate why it's so important for Europe to put in place a single digital market. So the razors guy was in the US. So he's exporting just in the US, 300 million consumers, that's a big market. The challenge is if you're Austrian, you know, your national market is very small. And at the moment it's quite hard because you've got, as you say, different consumer protection laws, different postal service operations, and so on and so on. So there is an opportunity for European politicians to make it easier for small businesses to grow, to scale in Europe. And I think one of the things which we should do is work together. I still think it's worth experimenting and getting out there and trying to do some of these things to get moving.
Simply said, I see the internet as a loaded gun we put 20 years ago on the business tables, and then the kids came in and played around, and now
it's a very dramatic way of
What's your opinion on that? Do you agree?
I've heard of the glass half empty, glass half full. I mean, I tend to think the glass is full of oxygen and water. You seem to think the glass is smashed into 1,000 pieces that are going to cut you to shreds. So I would be more optimistic than that. You made some good points about the challenges, but there's still countless examples of businesses that are growing and providing jobs and employment. So if we work together, I suspect we can overcome some of those things.
We're supposed to.
Stephan, could you tell us about the freedom of the internet in your business? Do you understand what he's going to say?
I think he's addressing it to the producers because we are not.
No. That's who sends the parcel off.
Exactly.
It's not the producer. So when I'm a small internet shop selling Austrian, let's say Mozartkugeln, then the package I send to Germany has to be. I have to have a license in the German system. That's not the producer. That's the one who sends it off. And that's a major problem, even in the European Union, because we have it not harmonized, and it will not be harmonized for quite some time.
But the point is, this is not the challenge of the transportation company. So we do not know what's inside the parcel normally when it goes to European Union countries. We just have an address and maybe in the best case some mobile phone number to establish interaction with the consignee. But whatever needs to be done with packaging or with licenses or whatever is needed to sell the goods is actually not our business.
That's right. I would say your business could be bringing the rates down, because I still don't understand why.
There's a slight difference of opinion,
why a 2 kilogram parcel to Budapest costs about 3 times or 2.5 times as much as the same going to Vorarlberg. Because you still have international rates compared to in-country rates, which could be a help for the online traders in Austria, that they don't pay €10 for a parcel of 2 kilograms to Germany instead of 3.60 what you would pay if you just take the mileage you're doing with plastic.
Give a short answer.